Okay, everybody, welcome to this DAISY video. In this video, we would like to discuss this masterpiece right here that you see in front of you, and this is the DAISY white paper that was published on the endotech.io website back in February 22nd, and you can easily download it from here. It's posted here on the blog of Endotech. And yeah, if you still have questions or feedback to the white paper, you can send an email to support@endotech.io. Okay, so Dr. Anna Becker um, discussed the basic idea of the white paper in some of the corporate Zoom calls. And in this video, I would like to go into more detail on the white paper. I mean, many of us joined DAISY because of the higher returns, but some people still would like to understand the technology side of things. Okay, and in this video, I would like to uh, yeah, discuss some of the most important elements from my perspective anyway that can help you understand the technical side of things. And I will not discuss all 57 slides or 57 pages. I will just pick out those things I think are important to understand the technology behind DAISY. And let me start with the tagline. The tagline is AI, and AI is artificial intelligence, AI powered investing, unlocking high risk, high return alpha. Okay, and by the way, this white paper assumes some, yeah, some basic financial knowledge. Okay, so some of the terms are not explained, some are, but as far as alpha, let me go to the definition of alpha. This basically refers to excess returns earned on an investment above the benchmark return. Okay, so in simple words, if your benchmark is Bitcoin, right? So seeking alpha on Bitcoin would be outperforming Bitcoin. Or if your benchmark is the S&P 500, seeking alpha on S&P 500 is basically doing better than S&P 500. Okay. Um, so this is the content of the white paper, and we will not discuss everything in detail, but we will, yeah, briefly look at the legal disclaimer, the project overview, the executive summary, the background, the market analysis, and the systematic trading. And this is all pretty much easy stuff, easy to understand stuff. And then the heavy stuff will start here. The methodology, the trading framework, the technology and architecture. This is all very specific, very technological, and I will not discuss it in much detail. But what we want to have a look at is the roadmap, the project team, and maybe some of the references. Okay? So, well, the legal disclaimer, this is pretty much standard. This white paper is not a legal document. It only provides background information about technical aspects, right? And it's not a professional investment advice. And if you want to have professional legal investment tax accounting advice, then contact your financial advisor. Okay? So the project overview, first it is talking about Endotech, and Endotech Limited is the technology provider. That's an Israeli company that is working in the field of artificial intelligence. And in 2018, they basically started their algo trading. I mean, the company has existed for longer than that, but in 2018, they started using their algorithm to do high risk, high return, high probability strategies. Okay, and the company was founded by Dr. Anna Becker, and she is, by the way, also the creator of this document. Okay, and then in January 21, Endotech announced the equity crowdfunding agreement with DAISY Global. Okay, so DAISY has basically started back in January, and now we are all waiting for the relaunch. Um, there will be a lot of improvements made to the smart contract, and mid of March is the target date for the relaunch. Okay, so that's the executive summary, and yeah, the basic idea is giving retail investors access to those high risk, high return opportunities, because so far only you know, institutional investors, big hedge funds, accredited investors had access to those, uh, yeah, high return, high risk, high return tools, and the big vision uh, of D.AI.SY is giving access, yeah, giving retail investors access um, to those tools. And historical investment strategies, they centered around conservative saving plans, and the latest generation, the young people, they they are no longer savings focused, and there is a growing number of retail investors that no longer content with traditional long-term slow growth strategies. They want aggressive returns. Okay. Um, right. And the big challenge with those high risk, high return algorithms is that they are threatened by time horizons. So those algorithms can work for some time, sometimes for a long time, but uh, one day they will just fail because some of the fundamentals will change in the market, you know, and the technical analysis cannot predict that, because the technical analysis is focused on historical data. Let me pull up the definition. So it's basically using charts to identify trading signals, So in other words, it's looking at the historical performance, and that will help you make decisions as far as where the asset might go in future. So it's all about probabilities. Will it go up or down? What is the probability of it going down or up? You know, uh, but what you really want to do if you're a long-term investor, you also want to do a fundamental analysis, right? And this is something that is not easy to automate. It's not easy to build an algorithm around the fundamental analysis. And the fundamental analysis is basically looking at different indicators, like if you talk about stocks, indicators like the revenue, the net value of the company, the management team behind it. So those are all those things that are not easy to systemize and to automate, right? And some of the hedge funds have already explored the use of deep data on fundamental analysis. And this is something what D.AI.SY will try to do with the new super intelligence, because so far they've been focusing on the technical analysis, and yeah, with the new super intelligence, they are hoping to capture some fundamental analysis signals. Okay, and yeah, they want to um, develop models that can go well beyond the Sharpe ratio of 2, and the Sharpe ratio is um, basically gives you yeah, a ratio that helps you understand the return of an investment compared to its risk. Okay, and this is how it will be calculated. So you will have the return of the portfolio minus the risk-free rate and divided by the standard deviation of the portfolio's excess return. Just to give you an example, Bitcoin has a Sharpe ratio above 2, right? I think it was 2.8 back in, well, the last time I checked, it was 2.8 back in December, right? It must be higher now. So this is basically the goal of DAISY, to achieve a Sharpe ratio uh, beyond 2. Okay. Um, what else? Okay, the market analysis. Um, okay, talking about the retail market. So the United States Federal Reserve Bulletin suggests that 51% of American families own stocks, and the majority of those are direct holdings. I mean, this is why Robinhood is so popular right now. I mean, the new generation, they no longer invest in savings accounts. They want to trade. They want higher returns, and uh, and that's why, yeah, Robinhood, for instance, is so popular, right? And yeah, retail investors seek high return opportunities across different markets and assets. Um, and yeah, this is what Daisy would like to address. This is just some data as far as gross savings based on the GDP, and I believe this is worldwide, right? Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So sustained high risk, high return investment is the new retail ambition. All right. As I mentioned earlier, sustainability in those high risk, high return investments is a huge challenge. However, there is a company, an investment fund, Renaissance Technologies. They have they are using quantitative trading, you know, for their strategies, and they have had phenomenal results um, with their Medallion investment fund. Okay, that had the best history of profitability on Wall Street. 60% per annum for 30 years. This is crazy, isn't it? Let me have a look. Yeah. So this is what the Medallion Fund was able to deliver, and it was always, not always, but most of the times outperforming S&P 500. As you can see, S&P 500 is blue and the Medallion Fund is black. So it always outperformed. You see, sometimes 100%. Wow. Okay. Um, so this basically goes to show that the technology, using technology for trading, really works. Okay. Um, Poop, poop, poop. What else? I mean, it talks about hedge funds that have proven algorithmic opportunities. And yeah, hedge funds have approximately. And by the way, this white paper not only it explains what DAISY is, it also gives you some interesting financial knowledge. You know, it can be considered a school book as well. And I personally think that the Bitcoin white paper should be a school book, that yeah, students have to read to understand Bitcoin and the technology behind it. So, what else do we have? Yeah, so systematic trading. So this basically talks about the technical analysis. That's something we already discussed. I mean, this is mainly looking at the historical performance and then makes decisions as far as um, the next move of a asset, you know, and then yeah, and the technical methodology. So they basically identify patterns, and they're using this Ethereum example. So they just look at the breakouts of Ether, you know, and that basically shows trends of 10% and up from January 18. So So Ethereum has a lot of volatility, more than Bitcoin, and then they try to set up two different indicators. One is precision, one is accuracy. So precision is basically it depicts the number of patterns the algorithm achieved to penetrate, and then the accuracy is showing how accurately those uh, patterns were penetrated. Okay. Um, and then fundamental analysis. So fundamental analysis, and that's something we already discussed, seeks the true value of assets based on their fundamental worth through a lens of micro and macroeconomic understanding. Okay? So, and the big challenge of the fundamental analysis is that the underlying data is both endless and often meaningless. Okay? Um, so, and it's not easy yeah, to, for computers anyway, to understand what this data says and how to make decisions based on that data. Because a systematic trading anchored in fundamental analysis is the new holy grail for algorithmic investors. Okay? And yeah, and this is the challenge of the fundamental analysis. The breadth of underlying factors is just yeah is just way too big. I mean, you have to look at social trends, demand, business leadership, political movements, regulations, all that stuff. Um, so let me just give you an example. So corporate earnings reports are rife with data and words, systematically picking up the frequency and position of various keywords can be a powerful input towards algorithmically understanding volatility. Okay, so the script will be looking at different keywords. You know, you have a lot of text, a lot of numbers, and the algorithm will just pick the most important keywords and yeah, and give you an output that you can use to make decisions, right? Or consider the understanding necessary to decipher the impact on fundamentals of a high profile investor like Elon Musk moving into Bitcoin as compared to other investors. How is this fundamental move to be understood and read systematically? Okay, so the technical analysis, it will not consider those things like Elon Musk tweets, but the fundamental analysis might help here, because if you mine this data from Twitter, from the Twitter account of Elon Musk, the algorithm might be able to give you some outputs that can help you to understand if an asset will move up or down. Okay. Um, yep. Okay, now, I mean, deep learning, that's something that is being used, uh, yeah, by many algorithms, right? But it only gives you a relationship between the input and the output. It doesn't give you the why. And here comes the deep reasoning, okay? So let me give you an example. Uh, all animals drink water. Uh, Cats are animals. So we as humans, we easily understand that all cats are drinking water, and this is like self-explaining. It's common sense for us, but it doesn't come so easily for computers, And this is where deep reasoning comes into the game. Okay, and yeah, the methodology will be discussed here. So the combination of lessons learned from deep learning, shortcoming, and the breakthroughs in fundamental analysis adopted from parallel scientific commodities create a clear path for modeling the fundamental analysis. Okay, so the deep reasoning methodology is fundamental to understanding um, the yeah to model the fundamental analysis. Okay, so this is something that Dr. Anna Becker discussed in one of the interviews. She was showing um, this chart right here, and it all starts here at the bottom. So it starts with the raw data pools, and then the data pools will be verified and normalized, um, and then the mapping will take place, mapping of movements and flows, and the deep reasoning will come in the fourth step, and after deep reasoning is done, we can understand the volatility. We can build a volatility model, and based on that, algorithmic trading will uh, will be possible. Okay, so there is a huge process between the raw data and the output. Okay, uh, I mean, we often hear that phrase "data is power," you know, but you need to understand the data to use it. So first you need to clean it. You need to take out all the noise, and then you need someone or or something, to to make this data usable. And this is what this um, methodology is showing here. And all those steps are explained here, and it's a lot of text. You guys can read it for yourself. So, yeah, as far as the data pools, or basically the data source, this will be described here. And at some point they mention where they take the data from. So, and I mean, you need data like yeah, the impact, you know, the impact on markets is made by economics, politics, society, and this is basically all the data that is needed uh, to to make those decisions. And yeah, I mean, this now becomes very technological. So they would basically show how they map the data. So as far as the economy, they will have different clusters where the data will be uh, placed, you know, um, and there are several categories of money that they explain. So you will have material values such as natural resources, land, exclusive works of art, and then money of global industry as energy, basic materials, machinery, tools, heavy vehicles. You know, you have consumer money, which is manufacturing of widely consumed goods. You will have young money, and this money earned by investing in financial assets. You will have unsecured money, money earned from non-resource and non-financial industries such as tourism, show business, internet, and so on. So, so they will basically categorize the money, and then they will look at different clusters, at different uh, yeah categories, and then just map it, just put it into different buckets to make it understandable for the superintelligence. Okay, and this will now become very specific. I will not talk about everything. So economy has an impact on the market, politics has an impact on the markets, the society, and so on. And this is basically how those different aspects will be categorized. Okay, so as far as domination, you will even see geographical clusters, Russia, Asia, Latin American being in one matrix, in the X matrix, and then the rest being in the Y matrix. And there is a distinct difference, and it all makes sense, you know. So this is how this categorization will take place, you know, and put into a matrix or a map like this here. Okay. And then as far as data sources, so that's an interesting thing. I mean, they're using, this is just an example, they used the research division of the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis and its ideas database. Okay. And sometimes, and by the way, it provides links to over 1.2 million full text articles. Okay, so this is a lot of data that needs to be mined and understood. And sometimes people wonder, so why does Endotech need so much funding to develop this super intelligence? Well, first of all, you need access to this data, and that doesn't come for free. Second, you need the tools, to process the data, and that also doesn't come for free. And then you need smart and intelligent people that will use the data and make something sensible out of it, you know. So, and that all doesn't come for free. So this basically describes the data collection and the verification of the data, and this is all very technological. And if you guys have time, just have a read through it. Um, yeah, deep reasoning for volatility, that's an important element. Okay, and so on and so on. So what else do we want to discuss? The trading framework, the trading methodology. They will talk about the portfolio management, um, talking about buy and hold, which is not a valid approach in such a young market, especially like crypto markets. Um, choosing assets, choosing appropriate signals, choosing allocation, execution and capacity. I don't want to make this video terribly long. I mean, we are already at 27 minutes, so I think I will just show you the trading infrastructure um, right here. So we have the exchanges here down below, like Binance or Gemini. We have the exchange connectivity, order execution prediction, portfolio order, smart order execution, quote engine, portfolio trading, and it goes on, right? And yeah, the funds come out of crypto wallets, fiat wallets, going through account management, and then the portfolio management and account management will then be merged into the user interface gateway, and that will be then returned to mobile or PC. That's what we then will see in our TronLink wallets or our Google TronLink add-ons. Okay. Um, yeah, here they just talk about the technology that is being used to stack and contain the data, and again, that doesn't come for free. I mean, it all costs money. That's why DAISY needs the funding. The roadmap, I mean, that's something you're probably all familiar with. We are here. Whitepaper was released in February, and then in April the core app development will start. Forex markets will be tested in July, and then commodities will come in October, and then in 22 we will have the alpha version of the new DAISY, and then in April 22 we will have the beta version of the new DAISY, and then the final product will be available in July 22. So this is basically the DAISY team, and we know Anna Becker, we know Dmitry Gushin. Here is the R&D R&D lead, financial analysts, and yeah, this is basically the COO, the Chief Operation Officer, Adam Rubin. He was presenting in one of the corporate Zooms. And down below you will find some references, and the appendix actually shows some interesting stuff that you might want to have a look at. It's basically categorizing the world money. I mean, it's down below, I think. Yeah, the money map, the global money map, that's an interesting thing, you know. If you wanted to buy the planet, it would be worth, I think it says 5 quadrillions, you know. And this is a breakdown uh, of all the assets we have on the planet. Okay. It also shows some of the uh, hedge funds, some of the most successful hedge funds. Those are the funds that are using algorithmic trading, and you might want to research them. Renaissance Technologies, we talked about this one, and then there are crypto hedge funds, Galaxy Digital Assets Funds, Alphabet Fund, and so on. Pantera Capital, Grayscale. I think we all heard about Grayscale. Um, yeah, it has a lot of interesting stuff. Apart from the DAISY related stuff, there is a lot of interesting educational stuff that you might want to have a look at. Okay? All right. I mean, this is basically what I wanted yeah, to show you in this video. I hope it helped you understand the technology side of things of DAISY. And if you still have questions, please join our Telegram group, and you will find down the link down below. And yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.